The video live stream for the WSJM Morning Show. Good morning on this Tuesday, February 17th, 2026. I'm Ken Lundberg, and my special guest in studio this morning is Brian Scribner, the Executive Director of the Southwestern Michigan Community Ambulance Services, also known as SMACUS. How are you doing? It's good to see you.
Doing well. Thanks for having me today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for coming in. For folks who don't know, maybe you can describe what is the Southwestern Michigan Community Ambulance Services?
Yeah, so Southwestern Michigan Community Ambulance Services, or SMACUS for short, is an advanced life support ambulance service that was established in 1976.
Okay.
They now serve 9 counties or 9 townships or 9 municipalities in the Berrien County area, and then we also serve most of Cass County now as of a couple of years ago.
Okay, so Berrien, a good portion of Berrien County, and then a good portion of Cass County as well.
Yeah, so the south portion we cover in Berrien County, and then most of Cass County. So,
okay, all right, and we'll get your origin story, but you were born in Niles.
I was born in Niles,
but you've been in a few places around Southwest Michigan.
I have.
How long have you been at SMACUS?
I've been here since 2014, so 12 years.
Okay, and before that?
I worked at a company called Life EMS out of Kalamazoo.
Okay.
So I went up there right after my training, which I got down here at LMC.
Yeah.
And went up there, finished up my paramedic, and I had been up there until the position here at SMACUS opened up. Okay,
so you started out as an ambulance. What's the technical term? Ambulance technician, driver?
Yeah, emergency medical technician, or EMT. For short.
Okay.
And then went and finished my paramedic up after that because I couldn't believe people paid you to do this job. So I loved it, and been what I've been doing for most of my adult life.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I love that you love it. For me, it seems like a lot of stress because every time the sirens are going off, it's usually you guys going to where somebody needs help.
Yeah, there is a lot of stress associated with the job, but you get to help people.
Yeah.
And if you're somebody that likes to help people, it's the perfect job.
Yeah, no, that's good to hear. Brian is not only the executive director of the Southwestern Michigan Community Ambulance Services, but also has been named president of a new not a new board, but a new position for you. You've been getting ready for this as the president. Let me get this right. President of the Michigan Association of Ambulance Services.
That's correct.
What does that do?
Well, the Michigan Association of Ambulance Services represents the ambulance services in Michigan, transporting agencies primarily. We address a lot of the concerns and the challenges. We represent the ambulance industry to insurance companies, to the legislators.
So basically, you're the watchdog to make sure no laws or regulations curb what you're trying to do, your mission.
Right. Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Wow. So you're now the president of that association, but you've been involved with them for a few years as well.
I have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll come back and talk more about this. There's also a move to merge the organization. So we'll talk about that and more, and we'll get more of Brian's origin story. We're going to dig in. It's going to be good stuff. It's going to be right here on the WSJM Morning Show, here on the video live stream and on the radio. It's all coming up after news in just a moment, right here on WSJM.
As strength in his decision. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Offer not valid in all states or prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Honey, our credit card bill came and it's higher than last month.
How? We haven't charged anything.
Paying the minimum isn't enough. It will keep getting higher until we take control. We need to go to 47fastcash.com.
With our bad credit?
47fastcash.com can help any credit type get approved for up to $5,000 in minutes.
Take control and get the money you need at 47fastcash.com. 47fastcash.com.
News brought to you by Leroy's Body Shop in St. Joseph and in Benton Harbor. Leroy'sBodyShop.com.
WSJM News now. Team coverage from the WSJM newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
7:05, it's the WSJM Morning Show. I'm Ken Lundberg. Tuesday, February 17th, 2026. Again, the weather forecast for today, and we'll have some clouds, maybe a mostly cloudy day, a high around 52 degrees, light winds out of the south, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, the winds pick up a little bit. We're going to have south winds tonight, 10 to 15 miles per hour, gusting up to 30 miles per hour. Otherwise, mostly cloudy and a 40% chance of rain. The low overnight, pretty ridiculous. It's only going to get down to around 45, 47 degrees overnight. Still warm, melting everything in sight. Wednesday's forecast, mostly cloudy day again. Windy conditions, a 50% chance of showers in the morning, and a high tomorrow on Wednesday about 60 degrees. The southwest winds gusting up to 30 miles per hour on Wednesday. Thursday might be an interesting day. Mostly cloudy skies, a 50% chance of rain or maybe some thunderstorms. Yeah, so we might be in for that. Late winter, early spring thunderstorms. Yeah, anyway, high around 55 degrees, low around 35 degrees. Looking forward to Friday, we might have a chance of snow showers. There's a 30% chance of rain or snow showers, depending on where the temperature goes. Right now, it looks like it's going to stay well above freezing, but we'll have to keep tuned to the forecast. Some of the news from the WSJM newsroom, not even a week old and already strong pushback on Governor Gretchen Whitmer's proposed $88 billion state budget. Senate Republican leader Eric Nesbitt says the state budget has grown from $55 billion when the governor took office to nearly $90 billion under this year's proposal. Nesbitt says it relies a lot on tax increases.
People are hurting around the state. Families are, job creators are, and our kids are. We got to shake up the status quo in Lansing so that we can make it more affordable for Michigan families. This budget doesn't do that.
Whitmer says a proposed tax on cigarettes, vapes, and nicotine pouches would generate about $332 million. Her plan also includes a 25-cent tax on sports betting wagers. Nesbitt says he opposes any tax increases and plans to fight them.
The time for tax increases are not now. Michigan's unaffordable. We have the highest energy costs, highest insurance costs in the Midwest, which leads to high food costs. We need to make it more competitive so that people can actually make it here in Michigan.
He says the focus should be on economic growth and education. House Speaker Matt Hall says the final budget will not include tax increases. Lawmakers have not indicated whether this year's negotiations will extend to the deadline as they did last year. Lobbyists spent a record amount on free meals and drinks for Michigan state lawmakers in 2025. That's according to spending disclosures analyzed by Bridge Michigan. Looking at those numbers, advocates for special interests reported more than $485,000 on meals for lawmakers, approximately $180,000 of that on itemized meals with individuals. That's a new high. The legislator with the second highest reporting total was Representative Pauline Wenzel of Bainbridge Township with $9,783 in lobbyist meals. The only lawmaker receiving more was Republican Representative Joseph Argona, who had more than $12,000 in reported food and drink spending. The full picture of who benefited from lobbyist spending still not currently available due to ongoing issues with the state's failure to make required disclosures publicly available. Critics say the high level of lobbyist-provided meals and the lack of transparency highlights concerns about potential influence. And the city of South Haven is moving forward with plans to bring lifeguards back to its beaches for the first time in more than 2 decades. During Monday night's meeting, City Council approved the purchase of 2 lifeguard towers for just over $65,000 and 2 lifeguard stands for nearly $21,000. The vote follows the council's approval in November of the first phase of the new lifeguard program, something South Haven has gone without since 2001. City leaders say the goal is to have 10 lifeguards hired and ready by Memorial Day. The move comes after years of calls from residents to improve beach safety. 7:09, it's the WSJM Morning Show. I'm Ken Lundberg. We have a special guest this hour. We're talking with Brian Scribner. He's the executive director for the Southwestern Michigan Community Ambulance Services, affectionately known as SMACUS. How you doing, Brian? It's good to see you.
Doing great.
Tell us a little bit. We would love to get a little bit more information about what the Southwestern Michigan Community Ambulance Services is and what it does. And also, you've been named the president of the Michigan Association of Ambulance Services and the board of directors there. So we'll talk about those two things. but we love to hear origin stories. So let's hear Brian Scribner's origin story. And yes, we'll get to what your last name means in genealogy terms. But first off, Brian, welcome. Good morning. Tell us where you're from. Who are you?
Yeah, so I grew up in Berrien Springs.
Yeah.
The origin part of the story for how I got where I am today is that when I was a young boy and EMS was in its infancy, paramedics showed up to my house and saved my mother's life.
Wow.
And
what happened?
She had been in a bad car crash.
Oh my goodness.
Had a spleen had ruptured after the fact, and these paramedics identified that, and they got her to the right resources. And the surgeon said she had very little time left by the time they got there. So it was their actions that saved her life. And I couldn't imagine anything more important to do with your life. So that's
no kidding. How old were you?
Oh, I was about 12.
That's an indelible mark.
It really was. Yeah.
And it changed your life.
It did.
Okay.
Yes.
So what'd you do from then on?
Well, I obviously finished up high school.
Excellent.
And then I worked construction while I paid my way through school. And
okay.
I had initially thought about being a computer science engineer. And,
computers are going nowhere. They're a fad.
Right. That's what I was told. But then I remembered that, hey, there's this one thing you've always wanted to do. And I went to school for that and got my EMT license and then moved to Kalamazoo and finished up my paramedic.
Yeah. So you went to school at Lake Michigan College.
Yes.
Went to Lake Michigan College and then finished up in Kalamazoo.
Yes.
For EMT. And then you started being in the ambulance.
I worked the ambulance since 1988. So
what is that like?
It's, there's a lot of high stress, but there's also the things that I remember the most, that I enjoyed the most was just being able to help people, to reach through the chaos and help people get control of their lives again and the like. So, yeah.
Okay. All right. We're talking with Brian Scribner, Executive Director for the Southwestern Michigan Community Ambulance Services. We're going to connect the dots and find out how he got from being an EMT, riding around in an ambulance, to driving the whole organization at SMACUS. And then now he's the president of the Michigan Association of Ambulance Services Board of Directors. So we'll talk about what that is, what that means, and how he got there. That's coming up here in just a moment on the WSJM Morning Show. Here on the radio, we're going to get sports. Dave Wolf is back, and we'll be back on the video live stream right now.
In men's college basketball.
Okay, here on the video live stream. Okay, so leave no gaps out. So you finished. You went from Lake Michigan College. Did you start thinking I'm going to be an ambulance driver while you're at Lake Michigan?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah. As I started taking the courses and realizing how much I enjoyed doing this, I found out that there was actually places that would pay you to do it. And,
so, had you volunteered? Had you done any ride-alongs?
I did some volunteer work in Berrien County here. I volunteered for Coloma Ambulance for a year or so, and I also volunteered for an ambulance service in Weesaw Township. Isn't there anymore, but I would come down on the weekends and provide coverage with them. I wanted more action, so I went to the big city of Kalamazoo and joined an ambulance service there and saw plenty of action then.
And I want to, we have to get back on the radio here. We're talking with Brian Scribner, Executive Director for Southwestern Michigan Community Ambulance Services. This is the WSJM Morning Show.
A few scattered rain showers possible, and rain Wednesday morning, sun in the afternoon, with afternoon high temperatures getting up around 60. We see more chances of rain on Thursday and into Friday when we get colder. I'm Chief Meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
7:14 is the time. 39 degrees is the temperature in Benton Harbor and in St. Joseph. 37 in South Haven. We're talking with Brian Scribner. He's the Executive Director for the Southwestern Michigan Community Ambulance Services. We'll talk a little bit more about that. He's also been named the President of Michigan Association of Ambulance Services Board of Directors. And we're right in the middle of his origin story. So he went to Lake Michigan College. Then he went to Kalamazoo. He's an ambulance driver at that point. How long were you an ambulance driver up in the Kalamazoo area?
I worked in the EMS industry up there, like I said, from 1988 to 2012.
Okay.
I eventually moved into the directorship of a service up there called Life EMS Ambulance.
Yeah.
I worked there for about 16 years, and then I went back to school, finished up a degree in healthcare administration.
Okay.
And just as I was finishing up that degree, the position down here opened up, and it smacked us. And so I came down here to serve my old stomping grounds.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So walk us through before we leave the ambulance service itself. So when you're in an ambulance, when you're the EMT or one of the paramedics in that ambulance, what's your 9 to 5 like, or what's your day like? Are you working 8-hour shifts? Are you working 14-hour shifts? What kind of shifts, and what do you do during that shift? Because it can't be running around all the time.
No.
Okay, what is it?
No. So EMS has a number of different types of shifts. The shifts that we have here in Berrien County right now are 24-hour shifts.
Okay.
And our paramedics work an average of 56 hours a week.
Wow. So a person is on for 24 hours.
Yeah.
Wow. How do you do that? I get cranky after 6.
Yeah. Well, that's some of the stuff we're working to change right now. It has been the way that things have been done for a long time.
Why is that?
Because it's probably the most affordable way to provide what we call the unit hour. The unit hour is one ambulance staffed with personnel for 1 hour. And you look at the cost of those unit hours, working a 56-hour schedule reduces the need for full-time employees.
Okay.
And it saves money. And it was the way that we did it, especially in the beginning. Utilization was a lot lower back then.
Yeah.
And so since you can't really predict when the calls, what you couldn't back then, predict when the calls were going to happen, you just had to kind of put hours everywhere.
Yeah. Okay. So 56-hour shifts, 24-hour shifts, 56-hour weeks.
Average weeks, yeah.
On average. And so what do you do during your shift?
Well, they can do a number of things. Obviously, there's station duties. There's a fair amount of downtime. So they really do live at the station. They have their bedrooms and their kitchen. It's a lot like a fire.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, it's modeled after the fire department schedules.
Okay, so they're stationed at the ambulance center until that call comes in.
Yeah.
Okay. What are the station duties? Do they make chili? Or because it's modeled after the fire, maybe you guys are making stew.
I can tell you, I can speak for the folks at Smackus. They're pretty good cooks.
Yeah.
They make some very, very good food. So.
Yeah. Okay, so they're stationed there, and then the call comes in. Where's the call coming from?
The calls originate through the 911 center. So when people call 911, it goes to a special dispatch center. When it's determined that it's a medical emergency, or that ambulances will be needed, it goes to a special dispatcher called an EMD, or an emergency medical dispatcher. They're going to ask a series of questions that have been proven to lead us to the proper priority for that call.
Okay.
And they dispatch us to that call.
Okay. And then typically, I mean, do you have an average, this is how long it takes us to get anywhere in the county, our service area?
Yeah, we have, our objective is on priority 1 calls. That's where we do red lights and sirens.
Yeah.
On priority 1 calls, we would like to be there 12 minutes or less 90% of the time. And that's a pretty consistent mark for us that we hit.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. We're talking with Brian Scribner. He's the executive director of the Southwestern Michigan Community Ambulance Services. Maybe talk a little bit about, thank you for explaining the shift schedule. I'm just astounded. 24-hour shifts. That's amazing. And you love this.
I do. I don't work the 24-hour shifts anymore.
Not anymore. Now you're the executive director for Smackus. What is Smackus? Explain it for people who don't know what the Southwestern Michigan Community Ambulance Services is.
Yeah, well, we're an advanced life support ambulance service, which means effectively, if you call 911, you're going to get a portable emergency department at your doorstep to help you.
Wow.
With highly trained, highly skilled individuals. We've got a great team.
Yeah.
And we provide that service to the 9 municipalities in our county as well as in Cass County.
I mean, it's in the name, Southwestern Michigan Community Ambulance Services. How do you work that arrangement? How many different ambulance companies are you competing with in that area?
Well, we don't really compete. We are owned by the municipalities, or 6 of the municipalities we serve.
Yeah.
So I report to a board of directors that is signed by those municipalities, and we together have continued to develop this service through our area. It's grown as the need for us has increased over the years. So.
Yeah, and you mentioned that earlier. It's the demand has gone up, and you probably have some better ways to predict when is it going to be really busy and when isn't it.
Yes.
How does that work?
Well, we use historical data.
Yeah.
And we can look at time of day, day of week, and we can build trends for when we know we're going to need more ambulances and when we're going to need fewer ambulances, so we can put more resources where we need them.
When's the busiest day and time of the week?
Ooh, either Wednesday or Friday midday.
Okay. Midweek Wednesday, it gets a little stressful, or Friday. Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
Again, we're talking with Brian Scribner, Executive Director for Southwestern Michigan Community Ambulance Services. So you talk about the area that you serve, and the community commitment. Your board of directors are the municipalities. What changes are you talking with the municipalities about right now as far as merger goes?
Yeah, so the director of Medic One and myself and our leadership teams came together and started exploring the idea of joining forces, becoming one entity. The benefits of that would be, of course, that we would have a larger depth of operation. We would be able to have better data sets, and we could use that also as a catalyst for building more modern EMS response systems based on the data that's out there right now.
Yeah, yeah. Why did the talks about coming together emerge?
Sure. So, like most change that's happened in the last 6 years, the pandemic really drove the story for us. Created staffing shortages, all kinds of operational challenges and the like. And towards the end of that, we started talking about, we think we could do this better as a team, as opposed to just being adjacent to ambulance services. So.
And how have those merger talks gone?
Well, we have engaged a consultant who has come back to us with the results of studying all of our data. Says that we can build a better EMS system, and it will cost less for our communities if we do this. So we firmly believe it's the right thing to do, but our communities are ultimately the ones that need to make that decision. So
what's the timeline? When will they be asked to make that decision, or have they?
We are presenting to our communities in March alongside our consultant. And we'll be asking them shortly after that if they want us to move in that direction or not. There's a lot of challenges. There's the governance. There's the deployment model. There's all kinds of things we need to develop.
Yeah.
So we just need to know if our communities want us to move in that direction.
Yeah. What do they stand to gain? Maybe you can go a little further into the benefits of if a merger is approved by a majority. I assume it's going to be a simple majority of municipalities. What would that look like?
Well, that's part of what we're trying to sort out right now. The governance will probably be the biggest challenge, which will define what it looks like. We will then need to sit down and develop some more advanced deployment models and financial models and all of those things. So there's a lot of work ahead of us.
Yeah. What does it look like if you don't continue merger discussions like this or
Well,
in this direction?
Some of the things that we need to change, we're going to need to change with or without a merger. Some of those things will cost more if we do them independently. But there's a lot of change that needs to happen based on the evidence that's come forward in studies like. So.
Yeah. And I imagine a big stressor on the whole system is that availability of the EMTs and the paramedics.
Oh, it's one of the big stresses in our industry right now is the staffing shortages. Yes.
How do you hire when you've got that staffing shortage, not just here, but everywhere?
Well, there's a lot that goes into the recruitment. You want a business model that helps your paramedics have a work-life balance.
Yeah.
That's probably the most important things to our paramedics. Second most important thing is probably wages.
Yeah.
And benefits and the like. So we work hard to develop a reputation for providing those things, which recruits and attracts. The other thing we've done is we have received about $450,000 in grant money to facilitate training in our communities. And Medic One and SMACUS have partnered on that to create paramedic and EMT programs. We've put a large number of folks out into the field trained. So.
Okay. All right. We're talking with Brian Scribner. He's the executive director for the Southwestern Michigan Community Ambulance Services. He's been leading. He's been in emergency medical services. If I got this right, 35 plus years, 35 plus years, leading SMACUS for at least 12 years.
Yeah.
And longer. He's now been named the president of the Michigan Association of Ambulance Services Board of Directors. What is that role? How many? According to the statistics I see here, you've got Michigan is home to more than 29,000 EMS providers. That's amazing. Yeah. That's amazing. So you're the president of that organization. You're representing 29,000 EMS providers. What do they want?
Well, we want good legislation. We want reimbursement that's fair for what we do. EMS isn't one of those business models where you figure out if somebody can pay you before you provide service.
No credit check run before you take them to the hospital.
So you need good, solid legislation and policy in place that makes sure you're getting reimbursement, because EMS is very expensive and you have to be able to fund it.
Yeah.
So,
what's it like when you interact with the state lawmakers? Do they get it?
They do. There's a lot of challenges with dealing with our legislators at this point, but they all get it. They all understand how important it is. Absolutely.
What are the challenges? What are they giving you?
Gosh.
You can say it. They're not listening right now.
I bet they're not. Well, right now we have a very partisan legislature, and sometimes
it's got to be tough because you got a Republican House, a Democrat Senate, and a Democrat governor, and nothing's getting through.
Yeah, unfortunately, we get hit in the crossfire of that sometimes. So I mean, just from the lack of functionality.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. All right. We're going to continue this conversation on the video live stream. We're talking with Brian Scribner. He's the executive director of the Southwestern Michigan Community Ambulance Services. Yeah, they're the people that show up when you call 911 and need a medical help here in Berrien County and now in Cass County as well. Yeah. So we'll talk about that. It's coming up right here on the video live stream. We've got Bloomberg. Our friends from Bloomberg are going to give us some financial information. We also have the latest world and national news from ABC coming up right here on WSJM. Okay, continuing on the video live stream. All right, Brian, I've been dying to ask you, Scribner. The last name, what does it mean?
Yes. So the original...
Could you come over closer to the mic?
Oh,
there you
sorry.
Go. You're fine.
The original pronunciation was Scrivener, and it was the Royal Scribes of England.
I mean, so that's your lineage right there.
It is. You wouldn't know it by my handwriting. But yeah,
I was going to say, do you like writing? Do you use a feather quill?
I don't mind typing.
Okay. So, and you know this why? Why do you know the genealogy here?
Oh, my dad was huge into genealogy when I was growing up, and he made us listen to all of these stories and all of the information, and I was bored to tears. Then I got older and wished I'd paid a lot more attention.
Yeah. Uh-oh. That's not the ambulance, is it? Did you bring the ambulance here today?
No, I did not.
Oh, okay.
No,
Okay.
no.
Good. We'll leave it out there on patrol. So, I mean, share if you whatever stories you remember about Scribner.
Yeah. So we did have ancestors that came over on the Mayflower.
Wow.
Apparently.
Okay.
It's very hard to track anything back across the pond after you get to that point. But we had ancestors that were in Plymouth Colony.
Okay.
My dad, when we went to visit the mock-up of it, went and actually found the actors playing our relatives and made them answer questions.
Wow.
So
that is cool.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fun. Okay. No, that's a fascinating history. I mean, because Scribner, I mean, you think about the scribe, they're the ones that basically, the king's a little bit off today, so we'll just change that.
Right.
And
right.
forever in history, it's basically what the Scribner thought it would be,
Right.
rather than the royalty. Okay. So as the executive director of Southwestern Michigan Community Ambulance Services, what's your day-to-day look like now?
Well, a lot of it is dealing with the financial side of the business. I have a great team, I have to tell you. So I spend a lot of time making sure that our next move is going to be financially feasible.
Yeah.
Planning capital budgets, planning, in general, the cost of doing things, and then monitoring the effectiveness of those things. But I have a great administrative team that does a lot of that work as well with me. So I'm very fortunate.
Because ambulances aren't cheap.
No.
I mean, whether to get them called to you or buying the capital asset.
Right. Yeah. So the ambulance purchase itself, I mean, it's about $200,000, and then we have another couple $100,000 in equipment in there, medical equipment and the like.
Man.
So they're pricey, but 84% of what we spend our money on is the people that are delivering the services out there. So we spend that is probably the biggest expense for us. There's no question about it.
Yeah, because you need the people to make it run. People's your biggest expense, salary and benefits, et cetera. And then the ambulance is on top of that. You're talking about a pricey proposition. But
Very
again,
pricey.
but nobody questions it because when you need it, you got to be there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we want people to feel secure in the fact that we're working hard to do that, but it is challenging.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to check out the Bloomberg report. It's on the radio right now. We're going to come back and continue our conversation with Brian Scribner, Executive Director for Southwestern Michigan Community Ambulance Services. If you have any questions about ambulance services, put them in the live chat and we'll see what we can come up with. It's 7:33, Tuesday, February 17th. Back in just a moment.
Crisis in the making. A shortage of memory chips is beginning to hammer profits, derail corporate plans, and inflate price tags on everything from laptops and smartphones to automobiles and data centers, and the crunch is only going to get worse. Anthropic's contract talks with the Pentagon have hit a snag over AI restrictions. The company wants to prevent its Claude tool from being used for mass surveillance or autonomous weapons. And Gen Alpha is the largest generation in history, accounting for 25% of the world's population. With big dreams, they're rapidly emerging as a dominant economic force. I'm John Tucker, Bloomberg Radio.
The Morning Show with Ken Lundberg on WSJM.
39 degrees in Benton Harbor. We dropped a degree over in St. Joe. 38 degrees in St. Joseph right now. Cloudy skies, 39 in clouds in Dowagiac. We do expect mostly cloudy skies today. A high around 52 degrees. Winds out of the south, light, about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight's forecast, mostly cloudy skies, a 40% chance of rain this evening, a low around 47, winds out of the south, gusting up to 30 miles per hour. Tomorrow's forecast, Wednesday, that's going to be our warm one of the week, it looks like. Mostly cloudy, though, windy conditions, a 50% chance of showers in the morning, a high around 60 degrees by the end of the day. Southwest winds gusting up to 30 miles per hour. And then on Thursday, interesting weather day because it's going to be mostly cloudy with a 50% chance of rain or thunderstorms. rain and or thunderstorms, high around 55 degrees. It's the WSJM Morning Show. I'm Ken Lundberg. 7:35 is the time. We're back with more news, our local news preview, coming up after a look at world and national news.
This is a special report from ABC News. I'm Sherry Preston. He was a giant of the civil rights movement, a global activist, and a two-time presidential candidate. The Reverend Jesse Jackson has died at the age of 84. Jackson marched with Dr. Martin Luther King and was there when King was assassinated in 1968, saying at the time,
I asked him, I said, Dr. King, do you hear me? Dr. King, do you hear me? And he didn't say anything.
Jesse Jackson ran for president twice, once with his Rainbow Coalition and then as a Democrat. Noelle Trent is with the National Civil Rights Museum.
He really did help bring the awareness of the Black political struggle forward. And I don't think that we can underestimate the impact of him, just the act of running. He wasn't fully successful, but I don't know if that mattered.
Jackson's family saying in a statement he fought his entire life to give a voice to the voiceless. This is ABC News.
WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
It's 7:36. Some of the local news stories coming up just after 8 o'clock this morning. The Southwest Michigan Regional Chamber urging local governments in Berrien County to discuss forming a regional transit system. The chamber partnering last week with BCAT, that's the county's transit committee, to host a meeting of the Chief Elected Officials Council. There are about 70 folks there. We'll talk about what they talked about and what it means for Dial-A-Ride, because they're going to get their state funding pulled in October of this year if things don't change. So we'll talk about that coming up after 8 o'clock. Also, an autopsy is pending after a body was recovered Sunday from the St. Joe River in Niles. Police say officers responded around noon, a little after noon, after two people spotted a body along a path on the east side of the river between Broadway and Main Street bridges. We'll talk about what that is. Also, a groundbreaking ceremony for the new Cone Park in Chickaming Township is set for next Friday. I'll tell you a little bit more about that new park in Sawyer. 7:37 WSJM Morning Show continues. I'm Ken Lundberg. We'll continue our conversation. We're talking with Brian Scribner. He's the executive director for the Southwestern Michigan Community Ambulance Services, there when we call them, and we're thankful. So we'll talk about that in just a moment right here on the WSJM Morning Show. Here on the radio, we also have sports coming up after a look at state news.
The Michigan News.
Okay, on the video live stream again. We're talking with Brian Scribner. He's the executive director for Southwestern Michigan Community Ambulance Services. You have to give us some stories. I know ambulance people have lots of stories about the stuff you see.
Oh, so many stories. Yes.
Keep it anonymous. Keep it clean. What's the weirdest thing you ever came across?
Oh, gosh. I think the story that I always think of first when I'm looking back at stories was I was driving with a partner in Kalamazoo. I had made a wrong turn. So I looked around and realized I wasn't heading where I thought I was.
Oh, boy.
And right at that point, we witnessed a car pedestrian.
Oh, no.
The person that was hit was injured very, very badly. But because we were there when it happened, the time from impact of that crash to the time that individual was in the OR at Bronson was 11 minutes. And no question that it saved this person's life. So,
wow. So you just happened to be in the right place at that person's wrong time.
Right.
And you're there to save their life.
And we saved their life.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that was probably one of the most interesting experiences that I had. But I've seen so many things that I could probably fill another 3 hours.
Yeah,
with
yeah.
that. Yeah.
What's the most challenging part of that job?
I think it's for me, it's the families. If we're talking about the job on the streets, it's the families. When you can't help somebody and you have to go to that family and tell them that you've done everything you could, but they're, that they couldn't be helped. So that would be probably the most challenging part of the job.
Yeah, that's got to be heartbreaking.
It really is. And it's hard. it's hard to process that. So
Yeah. Yeah. How is the staff? How does the staff handle that stress level?
yeah, that's a great question.
Yeah. What happens?
Well, we have services that we've secured that are 24-hour, 7-day a week counseling services for any of our employees for any time, any reason. They can engage those services for free. We also, when we have bad scenes, really, tragic scenes, we will schedule something called a CISM, or basically a critical incident stress debriefing, where we bring everybody together with a trained counselor and we process the scene together.
Yeah.
So
does the counseling service, is it well utilized currently by your team?
it is consistently utilized.
Okay.
We do get utilization reports, and it's worth it for us to keep that service available
Yeah.
for them.
Yeah.
Because sometimes they don't want to tell us, they want to keep it private. And so
Yeah.
they have all of that privacy and availability
Yeah.
through it.
Yeah. Because it's making yourself vulnerable to talk about it, right?
Yeah, it really is.
But to have that service available is a good thing.
It is.
Okay. All right. We're talking with Brian Scribner, Executive Director for Southwestern Michigan Community Ambulance Services. Talk a little bit more, if you would, about the new role that you're serving for the state association.
Sure. So the big role, or the primary role, is that I serve as the chair for the board of the directors.
Yeah.
Each year in January, we develop a strategic plan for the upcoming year, and then it's my job to work with our executive director to move us in that direction. We also have committees for legislation and reimbursement and personnel that also drive the organization, and I basically provide the leadership for that.
Okay. So what's your strategy? What's your strategic vision this year?
A lot of it has to do with legislation and reimbursement, focusing on some legislation that we really need to see passed that would increase the reimbursement for ambulance services. And then also, I don't know if you've read about this, but there was some of our correctional facilities that went out of business and left EMS holding a $6 million bag.
Whoa. Yikes.
Fortunately, SMACUS was not impacted by that, but we have a number of ambulance services out there that are really facing financial hardship because of that. And so we're working to try to resolve that as well.
Okay. And that would be kind of a one and done if the state can get their act together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll say that.
Yeah.
But when you talk about reimbursements, maybe you can talk a little bit further. What are the key issues? What are the numbers we're looking at? Who's paying who, and who needs to pony up more?
Sure. So Medicare, Medicaid are probably our biggest payers.
Okay.
And well, first off, I should back up and say that we bill out a certain amount every year. We collect roughly 45% of what we bill out.
Wow. 45% is all?
Yeah.
Jeez.
And unfortunately, our communities are left reimbursing or paying that gap through tax funds as well. So, or through subsidies. So, but we, Medicare, Medicaid are primary payers, Blue Cross, and some of the private payers fill in the gap. So some of the stuff we're trying to work on right now is address the surprise billing and increase the reimbursement that's paid through private payers. So,
man. So this is the other end of healthcare you get to deal with.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We'll talk about that in just a moment. We're talking with Brian Scribner, Executive Director for SMACUS. We'll be right back. It's the WSJM Morning Show. Moody on the Market Update coming up next.
But otherwise mostly cloudy skies today. High temperatures right around 50 degrees. We head into tonight. We don't drop off very far. We stay at 47 overnight, but we do have a few scattered rain showers possible. And rain Wednesday morning, sun in the afternoon with afternoon high temperatures getting up around 60. We see more chances of rain on Thursday and into Friday when we get colder. I'm Chief Meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
7:45, just 15 minutes in front of 8 o'clock. Yeah, we'll have the latest world and national news from our friends at ABC at 8 o'clock, and then our local news from the WSJM newsroom. Outside right now, it's cloudy skies, 38 degrees. We dropped a degree in Benton Harbor and St. Joseph. It's 37 in South Haven, cloudy, and 39 degrees in Dowagiac. Let's see, we've got Brian Scribner here. He's the executive director for Southwestern Michigan Community Ambulance Services. And it's time for our Moody on the Market update. It's brought to you by Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today. They are your local auto owners insurance agency in St. Joseph and in Niles. And Brian, thank you for sharing the information that you've been sharing with us this hour. We appreciate you. And we've talked about how you got interested in EMT work in the first place, which is amazing. Your mom was involved in a car accident, and basically the ambulance crew that took her to the hospital and
Yes.
triaged her correctly saved her life.
Absolutely.
That's amazing. Did you ever get a chance to go back and thank those individuals?
Since I've returned to Berrien County, I've tried to figure out who those people were.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to find them, but
Yeah.
I would love to be able to go back and do that.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, I have to imagine that you probably your teams get a lot of outreach from family members after the fact, or maybe they don't. I don't know.
We get a fair amount.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want more?
Yeah.
No, I
Fuels
mean,
the fire.
because I mean, many times again, you get called when families are in crisis, when people are in crisis, when the unexpected happens, and hopefully more times than not, you arrive, you take care of the situation, and life goes on.
It does.
Yeah. Okay.
A couple of years back, many years back, got a postcard from two little boys thanking me for their mom.
Oh,
And that probably was the most rewarding moment of my life.
I bet.
So,
Yeah. No, that's really cool. That's really cool. So you're also in charge. You're the president of the board of directors for the Michigan Association of Ambulance Services. And that group serves 80% of Michigan counties, and they were responsible for more than 900,000 ambulance transports in 2024, which is only 69% of transports statewide. That's
Right.
a lot.
Yes.
That's a lot of service. So you're working with state lawmakers to improve reimbursements. What are your prospects of getting anything through this year? Because again, we talked about that. We talked about the divided legislature, Republicans in the House, Democrats in the Senate. Shouldn't healthcare concerns be a bipartisan thing as far as ambulance service is concerned?
It should be.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what are your arguments? What do you do?
Well, we have our own lobbyists that we engage with, and they help us build a strategy.
Yeah.
Most of it is legwork on our part, going and meeting with our legislators and talking with them and emphasizing what's important to the industry and the like. So it's a lot of legwork, a lot of calling and letter writing and visiting. So
yeah. You ever tell them, hey, lawmaker, next time you call an ambulance.
Well, I grew up
no threats.
I grew up in an organization that would never make a threat like that.
No,
so it's been ingrained.
No, I appreciate that. that. I'm curious, how fast are ambulance drivers allowed to go?
Yeah. So the rule is due regard, which means drive at a safe rate, depending on your situation. We do have electronics in our trucks that will monitor vehicles exceeding the freeway speed limit more than 80 miles an hour, and we will track some of that and the like.
Yeah.
Most of the time they're going 5 to 10 miles an hour faster, but that doesn't really save a lot of time.
Right.
So we focus on safety because we want to keep our general public safe while we're responding to these emergencies.
Yeah, it's got to be a fine line. It makes sense, makes perfect sense, but it's got to be a fine line because, as you mentioned, from a family perspective, you're thinking, where are they? Where are they? On the other hand, it's like, well, if we go 5 miles an hour more than the speed limit, it might endanger the vehicle getting there altogether,
right?
And others.
And the studies absolutely indicate that the few seconds we save driving emergency status don't have an impact on very much on many of our calls. So a cardiac arrest is probably one of the few examples where those few seconds can make a difference.
Yeah.
But for the most part, we want to reduce those lights and sirens responses and instead drive safely to those scenes.
Makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense. This has been the Moody on the Market update for this hour. The Moody on the Market update brought to you by Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today. They are your local auto owners insurance agency in St. Joseph and in Niles. And we will come back and talk more with Brian Scribner here in just a couple of moments. This is the WSJM Morning Show.
Around here, it's all-wheel drive all year round.
All right, back on the video live stream. No, that makes perfect sense. And it must be nice to have the data that you have to show people of this is why we do things the way that we do it.
Yes.
Yeah. What when you think about AI, any innovations there that are affecting your industry?
That's a great question, and yeah, I see a lot of innovation coming there. AI that can help us interpret things that in the past have required somebody with a high level of expertise, like ultrasound or cardiac rhythms or any of those types of things. I also see it having the application of being an assistant to the paramedic on that scene, helping them make sense out of that chaos and drawing attention to things that you might miss, because that's probably the most complicated part of the job. So
yeah,
I can see it playing a role all across our industry. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah. Do you use AI for anything?
Yes.
What do you use? What do you, if you don't mind us sharing, what do you use AI for?
Well, typically, I will write a very rough draft of something that I want to do, and then I have a do it better.
Yeah,
I do it better. So
it's pretty amazing what it can do.
Yeah.
Although I will say, there's a new thing, and I think this more applies to the kids who are writing term papers and that kind of thing, using AI a little bit too much.
Yeah.
AI. So the abbreviation is AIDR, and basically it means artificial intelligence. I can tell this is artificial intelligence. I didn't read it.
Right.
AIDR instead of the TLDR. Too long, didn't read. But no, you raise a really good point, because a lot of focus on AI has been in that medical area. People at home, putting it in there, and they get a diagnosis. Whether or not it's good, you got to see a doctor to find out.
Right. Yeah, there's still an important human element there, but I could see it augmenting what we do in the field. So I'm excited about what they come up with.
Yeah. So. Back to and I'm sorry for jumping around on topics, but we're close on time here. What are the biggest challenges with bringing that merger with municipalities together, you guys and Lifeline?
I think the governance side of it, developing a governance model that everybody is comfortable with.
Like what are the potentials on the table?
We would have an advisory team, and then an advisory board, and then a board that provides direction to the organization.
Yeah.
And then figuring out who's going to represent us, because if every single municipality has a representative at the table, then we have 40 or so people.
Never get anything done.
Make it difficult for whoever is going to lead this organization.
Sure.
So that's probably the biggest challenge. There's a lot of pride in the communities for SMACUS and for Medic One, in what they've been able to create over the years, and helping us to see that this is the next evolution in that process, and not giving up the things that we've already developed.
Yeah. So, okay. And thanks for the correction on that. I said Lifeline. I meant Medic One.
Medic One. Right.
You've heard of Lifeline, right?
I have. Yeah.
Okay. All right. It's another ambulance service. 7:54. We'll be right back. We're talking with Brian Scribner, Executive Director for Southwestern Michigan Community Ambulance Services, coming up in just a moment.
Your Southwest Michigan Bryant dealer, whatever it takes.
From the Pat Moody Studios, this is WSJM-FM Benton Harbor, St. Joseph, a product of Midwest Family Marketing and Media. Proudly serving our community. The Morning Show with Ken Lundberg on WSJM.
7:54. Thank you so much to Brian Scribner for coming in, Executive Director for Southwestern Michigan Community Ambulance Services. And we've been talking this hour about a whole lot. We talked a little bit about your origin story. We talked about a potential merger between the Southwestern Michigan Community Ambulance Services and Medic One, and that merger is currently in discussions.
Yes.
With the different municipalities, and in March you'll hit the push again and see where you can go.
Yes.
And then we also talked a little bit about your new role. You're also the president this year for the Michigan Association of Ambulance Services. So not only do you get to talk with local municipalities about that issue of the merger, you get to talk with our state lawmakers.
Yes.
You ever get on the federal level as well?
Small amount.
Yeah.
But yeah, mostly legislators and then the regulatory folks that work in the state side. So
when people call 911 and they find out that that there's an ambulance on the way, what can they do to prepare? What do you want to see when your people show up?
yeah, so the first, probably most important thing that I would recommend is that everybody learn CPR.
Okay.
And you don't have to learn the healthcare level. Just learn the basic hands-only CPR. You can learn it in about 20 minutes. But we save lots of lives with bystander CPR prior to our arrival. So
Really?
that is one thing that we really encourage people to do.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, what's the biggest challenge when people are facing a CPR situation, knowing what to do, when to do it?
Yeah.
Do you still do the mouth-to-mouth thing?
Not so much.
Yeah.
No,
How
no.
come? Why did that go out of favor?
Well, the lungs themselves have a huge reservoir of oxygen in them, even if somebody isn't breathing.
Okay.
There was obviously a lot of aversion to wanting to do mouth to mouth,
Yeah.
but also it does increase the risk of, especially if you're going to do this on a stranger, of, contracting something. and the
Okay.
like. So
Okay.
hands-only CPR is easier. One of the things that we noticed in studies was that a lot of people that knew CPR weren't doing it because they were afraid they were going to do it wrong.
Yeah.
And so the message that we're trying to get out now is even bad CPR is better than no CPR.
Yeah.
So do it. You don't need to be perfect. We just need you to do that CPR. It'll dramatically increase the possibility of that person surviving.
Where do you recommend people learn CPR?
There's a number of ways. You can order right off the AHA site a home training kit where you just pop in the DVD and it comes with a little doll. It's only about $30.
Oh, that's
something
not
like
bad
that.
at all.
You can contact SMACUS or you can contact the hospital
Yeah.
for CPR training programs
Yeah.
as well. So
Yeah, sometimes you can get your whole workplace involved in that.
Yeah.
Make a day of it. Team
Yeah.
building event. What do you do when you're not smackissing?
myself,
What do
I
you do
like
for
to-
fun and relaxation?
Well, I like to backpack and hike and the like.
Oh, wow.
So-
You're probably a pretty popular backpack buddy because you know the emergency stuff.
Yeah.
Bear
I-
gets you. Well, I've got Brian here with me.
Right. As long as I can run faster than them, I can come back and help them. So
Very nice. Where do you go backpacking?
one of my favorite places, it would be either the Smokies or the Manitou Islands in Lake Michigan are probably
Wow.
my two favorite places to go.
Okay. All right. Anything else in addition to backpacking that you do for fun? That's about
really
it,
about
huh?
it.
You know how to make a fire with your hands?
I do.
Really?
Yes.
You can start a fire. What's your method?
Ferris rod.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not a
so
stick.
Not a stick.
Okay. You ever
No.
watch those shows, the survival shows?
All the time.
Love. You watch Alone on Netflix?
Yeah. My wife likes to watch them with me too.
Okay.
So,
No,
yeah.
there's a show called Alone
Oh yeah.
on Netflix.
I've seen that too.
Okay.
I
Okay.
actually have watched the YouTube videos that spin off from that with my wife. So
All right.
Yeah.
That's it. Anything else, Brian? We've got to wrap it up here.
thank you very much for having me today. I appreciate
Absolutely.
all
Yeah.
the questions, and hopefully we'll make a difference in this community.
Well, we look forward to it. Keep us up to speed on the merger, how that goes, and anything that you might need, information you need to get out there for the public, okay?
Excellent.
All right. Brian Scribner, he's the executive director for the Southwestern Michigan Community Ambulance Services. We appreciate what he does, what the EMTs and the paramedics do out in the field. They're the ones that ride in the ambulances that come over to your house or wherever you are when you're injured or need that help. Good morning. It's 8 o'clock.